All
Sweet.
right, welcome. Morgan Hughes, welcome.
Hey, we're back.
Great to see you again, as always. Hey, I
Yeah.
want to talk about we had a lot of fun writing the book. I mean, and I say we, it's, I maybe put the, fingers of the keyboard, but a lot of people would tell me, when I told them I was writing the book, they were like, well, this book pretty much writes itself, doesn't it? And in many ways it does, and it did. I organized it, but I did it with the help of all 19 of you guys. But, it's funny. People say, well, what's the story about how you came to write the book? And, I tell them how we met and so forth. And then, I said to you at one point, you should write a book. And you said, literally, you said, fuck no, I'd rather drink poison. Why don't you write it? But what I want to talk about is you always knew there would be a book written. And at, I think it was maybe your second city council speech, Columbus City Council. I want to read part of the book, and then I want you to reflect back on it. You said, since the first day of the Save the Crew movement, I felt like I was living in a real-time book, a book that will be written about this page by page and chapter by chapter. And I thought long and hard about how I can make sure this story has a happy ending for the city of Columbus. I try to remind myself daily that in this book that will be written, there will be a final time our movement is mentioned, and that last section will define the legacy of the Save the Crew movement itself. So to all the parties involved on every level of this complex issue, from the front steps of this very building to the immaculate playing surface in the house Lamar Hunt built, to the meeting tables and conference rooms behind closed doors, I ask you to consider the last time your name will be mentioned in that book. What will it say? How will you be remembered? What will your legacy be? So you said this a year before we even met.
Yeah.
So talk about that. I mean, it's, there's this book now that you're all mentioned and your legacies are defined.
I mean, I hate to repeat myself, but I mean, like, I says what I means, and I mean what I says. When I said I feel like I'm living a book, it was because I knew it was that big of a deal. I mean, flat out, I hate to be, I'm not trying to be self-congratulatory here, but I mean, in my head, I just knew we were going to get this done. We were going to save the crew, and it was going to be such an overwhelming success that someone would have to write a book about it. I mean, I've read books about lesser events, written by lesser people, by the way. What a treat you are. No, I just always knew that, like, there were too many big events. There were too many important instances of this happening for the first time, or that happening for the second time, or I mean, listen, man, there were multiple players in this thing, right? There were multiple cities. There were skull and crossbones. There were nefarious players. It just like it kind of, the book kind of didn't write itself, but the outline surely did.
But I mean, what's amazing to me is that, yeah, that's all true looking back on it. That the things that happened became these amazing things that were certainly worthy of being written about. But you said that a week and a half in.
Yeah.
You knew a week and a half from the time that Grant Wahl tweet hit that this is going to, you projected kind of, you anticipated this is going to be that kind of a story. That wasn't written yet, right? I mean, but you just knew. I mean, there's a sense of instinct there, or I mean.
Yes, I mean, listen, man. I think that people assume that there's some kind of bullshit to my optimism, but I'm optimistic. I'm not like completely disassociated, disconnected from reality. My optimism is grounded upon a base of like having done cool shit before. And listen, I cannot tell you the amount of confidence I had in this city, in this team, in this collection of humans to change the world around them. And when that happens, especially with sports, it gets written about. And I just knew we were going to be a special organization. And someone would have to write a book about what we did.
Somebody would step up.
I'll
never forget that moment. Not to be too self-aggrandizing myself, but I mean, what's the meaning of having this book? I mean, what's the significance of it? I mean, I know what it is to me, but to you and you guys. And
so don't know if you can hear it, but there's a baby monitor to my left. And I have a daughter now. I did not have a daughter. Shit, I wasn't even married when we started this journey, but I have a daughter now, and it means the world to have something down on paper, this physical thing, you know, this thing that once I'm gone, that can tell a story of what we were like. And I don't know, man. When my wife was pregnant, I kind of had these existential moments where I just thought, like, what can, you know, I was so nervous about shaping life that I so want to have good people out there, and I want to be a part of sending them on their way. And listen, Save the Crew was a way that we can say there are rights in the world and there are wrongs in the world. You're either on the side of those who seek to save and build communities, or you're on the side of those who seek to destroy them. And I'm really proud that my daughter and whomever she encounters in life will have a written record that, like, her dad was on the right side of history. And, you know, if you do the right things with the right people, and you mean it, and you work at it, and you tell everyone you know, you can accomplish whatever you put your mind to. And I don't mean that in like a reading rainbow kind of way. I don't mean like, you know, anyone can be an astronaut. Like, not everyone can be an astronaut. Like, Shaquille O'Neal can't be a fighter pilot. Like, he's too tall. There are just some things you can't do. But there are, when I'm talking about like movements, accomplishing things, fighting for what's right, you can do that. That doesn't take height, weight, strength, speed. It takes stamina, but not the physical kind. The emotional kind, the mental kind. And if you set your mind to it, that is the kind of thing that you can do. And that's what Accidental Heroes is. It's a tale of people who probably were told that they couldn't do something, and they said, watch me prove you wrong.
Yeah. And you feel the book captures that?
On the back of this, it has a blurb from this guy named Morgan. I think he's a guy.
He's a guy. Yeah.
And he says, you know, it's the closest thing to being in the room with the Save the Crew leadership team, and I meant it. I mean that. It really is. It was fun to relive. I can't recommend the book highly enough. It's great.
Yeah. And as I looked at others, there's of course 19 individuals all profiled, and it's about all 19 of you. And I hope that all 19 feel the same way you do about being memorialized in this book, and, you know, having your legacies, having their legacies passed on and captured in this way, because really tried to, you know, you are the primary narrator. We came right out and said that's natural, and you and I spent the most time together, but it's about all of you. And you know, I trust that the whole gang feels the same way. So all right, Morgan. Yeah, thank you so much. Talk soon.